Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, women's action coming up. We got a title fight for the main event, so make sure you stick around for that. But right now, let's get the next fight to the cage. 3 3-minute rounds in the bantamweight division. Ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of the blue corner, make the noise for Ryan Bryant.
Making his amateur debut representing 501 MMA at just 22 years old. He had a full 6-week camp and apparently improved his cardio.
Yeah, this is the name of the game when you're doing MMA, right? You got to have good cardio. Anytime you come into these fights, a lot of times you get guys who are equal stature in their abilities and their styles. Whoever has the better cardio usually wins. This is going to be a fun fight because if you look over at John Scott, he had a 3-month camp and he said that strength for him was the difference maker in this division.
So strength versus cardio, but you gotta wonder, month-and-a-half camp, 3-month camp.
You know, and here's another thing, when you have those long camps, sometimes you'll come into these fights with lingering injuries. How much of that 3-month camp did he actually get to train? How much of it did he spend recovering? There's a good chance he had a little bit of injuries and he had to fight them off. Or if he was lucky and he had those whole 3-month camps of just getting after it every single day, his cardio is going to be just as good as Ryan Bryant's.
And so, significant age difference here. So Bryant coming to the cage 22 years old, 30 years old for John Scott, who will be coming out next.
Yeah, John Scott coming in with that grown man strength. This is going to be a good fight to see.
So making his way in and getting ready, that is Ryan Bryant. Again, his amateur MMA debut.
Making his way to the cage. Ladies and gentlemen, this is John Scott.
So John Scott, 30 years old, had that 3-month camp that we talked about. And he says strength is what he feels will get him the victory tonight.
Yes, and not only that, when we asked him earlier in the week about what was going to be the difference for him versus other fighters to try to get the belt in his division, he again said his strength. So this is a guy who's extremely confident in his strength. I'm willing to bet that some of that strength is the explosiveness coming from his lower body.
Definitely, and so it, again, goes back to what you were saying about the cardio. If you have a great ground game and you have great cardio, you're already 2/3 of the way there to get a win, like we saw with Cody Regain getting a win in our last fight.
Yeah, and not a whole lot to tell between these guys. We got Ryan Bryant in the blue corner who's wearing the orange tights. It's his debut. John Scott, 30 years old. He's only had one fight. He did lose the fight, so we don't have a whole lot of film and something to gauge these fights off for these guys.
Apparently he has a lot of fans here tonight, so maybe home cage advantage here.
He looks ready. He immediately put his back to the cage.
Northwest Fighting Alliance. This is your next matchup of the evening. Once again, 3-minute rounds. Bantamweight division. This matchup is sponsored by the Vault Fine Cigars. One more time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get a little crazy. Make me some noise and let's introduce your participants. Out of the blue corner, he represents 501 MMA. He is a pancration fighter. Ladies and gentlemen, weighing in tonight at 135 pounds, he represents 501 MMA. Ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of Conway, Arkansas, this is Ryan Bryant. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he's a freestyle fighter. He comes into tonight's matchup with a record of no wins with 1 loss. He weighs in tonight at 135 pounds. Representing Diamond State MMA, ladies and gentlemen, out of Fayetteville, Arkansas, make the noise for John Davian Scott.
So John Scott with the home cage advantage. He's fighting here in Fayetteville in front of his home crowd.
Yeah, and Ryan Bryant, he is a pancration fighter. So basically you're going to get a combination of boxing, wrestling. Really, there's not a whole lot of restrictions, and this is coming from like your ancient Olympic games. So
a lot of your early MMA fighters like Dan to be Severn, they really relied upon pancration for fighting in the early days.
Yeah, we're going to see a good takedown right there, right off the bat.
So already with the ground game, used it flipped. And we got a grapple bout And big shots here coming from Scott. Oh, my goodness.
There's your strength that he was talking about. Rolled Ryan Bryant right over. Gets the takedown, but lays on his back.
Yeah, trying to get the takedown trip, but the trip backfired, and all of a sudden we have him down on the ground with top guard being held by Ryan Bryant.
So it's going to be interesting to see how John Scott fights off his back. Is he going to – it looks like he's just kind of conserving his energy as both of them are just laying there. No strikes, nothing.
But conserving your energy could be very smart if the whole fight is going to be a ground fight like it appears to be in the early going.
Both of these guys came right out the gate firing, full steam ahead. We're going to see which one of them has the better cardio.
So, again, Full Metal Ryan Bryant, again, making his professional debut, Pancration MMA fighter, and our referee, Rocky DeMeyer, is just watching as both guys are trying to get dominant position here.
We're going to see if John can sprawl out. Instead, as he tries, Ryan takes his back.
Potentially trying to go for a rear naked choke here.
And it looks like he might have it in. It's a little tough to see from our angle because we can't see the front side.
Have to pay special attention to see if there's any type of tap here in the early going.
And Ryan's doing a good job of extending his legs to flatten him out so he can get that thumb right underneath the chin.
And trying to get that leverage. He looks like he might have it locked in pretty deep here.
Ryan's going, oh, you can see he's in there deep.
And he taps out!
There it is!
First round submission by Ryan Full Metal Bryant, and the rear naked choke as he's able to get dominant position midway through the opening round. Let's take a look at the SSN replay.
Yeah, so you can see on this replay, watch his legs. He extends out by pushing John's legs out. That way he flattens him out to get the arm under. He gets a good job of getting the pressure by pulling in, not up. And then there you have it, the tap out by John Scott giving Ryan Bryant his debut win.
Ryan Full Metal Bryant, so 6-week camp, and he was able to dominate on the ground. Rear naked choke in round number 1, our first finish of tonight's card here in the Rumble at JJ's Live. We're going to take it to our ring announcer here, Gregory Taylor. He will have our winner announced and do a brief post-fight interview. Don't forget, we're also going to have our Carter Randolph do fighter interviews as well, kind of go into a little bit more details beyond what our ring announcer, Gregory Taylor, is going into. But here to announce the winner.
All right, once again, ladies and gentlemen, let's give both these fighters a big round of applause. Let's go to the official scorecards. At 1 minute, 53 seconds of the first round, your winner by rear naked choke out of the blue corner, Ryan Bryant.
So Full Metal Ryan Bryant getting the rear naked choke in the first finish of the night here at JJ's Live.
That is our first finish in fight history here on the Southern Sports Network. A historical fight.
And we want to thank all of you for watching, and we want to thank our CEO, Chris Dotson, for putting this together for us here tonight.